Hey everyone, today we're talking about five ways to support a loved one who is struggling with an eating disorder. I'm Kim McLaughlin and I am from feedyoursoultherapy.com, and I am excited to talk about this really important topic and give you some really useful information. Let's get started. So, I know it can be hard to be the loved one of somebody with an eating disorder. And I know you get conflicting information about what you should do. And oftentimes we choose to do things that can end up making our loved one with an eating disorder actually feel worse. And it doesn't have the actual effect that you'd want. So I want to first give you the opportunity to give yourself grace that you don't have to respond perfectly each time. You're doing your best. And if you're learning each time you're talking with them about what to do, you're going in the right direction. I've really talked with so many people who are frustrated that their loved one has an eating disorder and they really love them and just don't know what to do and feel triggered by them. And I empathize with your situation. And I want to tell you that getting in that anger on your part doesn't help the conversation with your loved one. And I know that's where you want to come from. So take a deep breath, give yourself grace, and know that you're doing the best you can. And each time you're learning how to do it a little differently. The second tip I want to give you is you can increase your constructive and positive communication skills. So once we move through feeling angered and triggered by our loved one, notice the communication skills that you're using. And I'm going to give you some examples of what you can do, because it's really important and helpful to let go of the judgment about what they're going through, because often you just don't understand their situation or how they're feeling. So I want you to consider moving out of questions that are shaming, such as, why did you do that? Why don't you stop? What's wrong with you? Just eat. Just don't eat. Those questions don't help. What I encourage you to move into, the more positive communication skills, is coming from a place of where you're at. Is, I'm feeling confused. Can you help me understand what's going on? I really want to be a support to you. What can I do to help you? And those are positive communication skills. They're active listening skills, and also come from a place of seek to understand. Seek to understand where they're coming from. The third tip I want to give you is seek support for yourself. Get clear on how your loved one's eating disorder is affecting you and how it's showing up for you, because we've learned in our world about what food should, what our person should eat, the way they should be up, the value of dieting, how they're supposed to act, and what they should do. And you're gonna probably move into giving a lot of what you think is helpful information, and the other person, your loved one, is gonna take it as judgment, gonna take it as shaming. And I know that's not how you want to treat them. I know you want to move into a place of being supportive. So I encourage you to seek out and get referrals for therapists or counselors who understand this process and can help you understand where your loved ones are coming from, and also help you understand your feelings and your thoughts and your reactions. And then you can come up with a better plan to communicate with them, because you're coming from a place of empowerment and you're checking your own feelings with your therapist and your counselor. And so you're coming to the person clearer on what you can say to them that actually could be more helpful and more effective. I also have a fourth tip, and that is encourage your loved one to seek a qualified mental health professional. There are people who are trained counselors and therapists who are licensed, who are specially trained to work with people with eating disorders. And this suggestion, I really encourage you to come from a place of love with it, that I love you, I care about you, I know there are people that can help you, and just encourage them to go. It's about them getting clearer for themselves about what they need to do and finding a professional to help them could be really helpful. I have talked to many family members because what can happen is your loved one could say, I don't want to get off my back. I don't want to do this. So I actually encourage family members to call the eating disorders therapist themselves if their loved one won't take a referral. And I've had people call me and ask me, and I'll give them helpful tips based on their situation about how they can approach their loved one and what they could say. And it really softens how they approach the person because I'm giving them coaching on what they might say to their loved one. And it helps better to help you feel more, once again, empowered when you come to talk to them. The fifth piece of advice I want to give you if you have a loved one with an eating disorder is seek out support groups. There are support groups that offer education, psychoeducation support about eating disorders for you to find other people in situations. It's really helpful because they can give you, based on their experience, how they interacted with their loved one. They also are there, often 24 hours a day for you to call them and talk with them. And that is different than your therapist or the professional that you seek out, who might be there only an hour to a couple of hours a week to talk to you. So seek out a professional, a support group where other people are dealing with loved ones with eating disorders. I want you to know that dealing with eating disorders, a loved one with an eating disorder, is really hard, and there is hope and there is help. It is hard to deal with it with yourself, and I really want you to know that there are things you can do. Try any one of these 5 tips. In the comments below, tell me what tips you've used. I know that there are a lot of things to do. I've just given you some of my top 5. So there is hope, there is help for your loved one with an eating disorder, for you, for your family. And I encourage you to try these 5 steps, these 5 tips to help you out. I'm Kim McLaughlin from feedyoursoultherapy.com. I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.